Hello, students. Today we are going to continue the chapter The Best Christmas Present. We had finished part 1, we are doing part 2. So, in part 1, we saw that the author had gone to a junk shop to purchase a roll top desk, and in that desk, he had found a letter in a black sellotaped tin box. Now, let us see what happens in the next part. We were all standing in our trenches yesterday morning, Christmas morning. It was crisp, quiet, all about. As beautiful a morning as I've ever seen, as cold and frosty as a Christmas morning should be. So, this is what is written in the letter. He's describing the Christmas morning. Christmas morning. Let me mark properly for you. I should like to be able to tell you that we began it. But the truth I am ashamed to say is that Fritz began it. So now ये सब लेटर में लिखा हुआ है कि सच बताऊँ तो हमने शुरू किया ये, बट सच्चाई ये है, मुझे शर्मिंदा हो रही है, ashamed, कि फ्रिट्स ने शुरू किया ये. First someone saw a white flag waving from the trenches. Trenches means it's like a hole you dig and you are standing on the side, or slanting kind of a dug hole. Opposite, they were calling out to us from across no man's land, Happy Christmas Tommy, Happy Christmas. तो हमने सामने देखा, वहाँ से कोई एक सफ़ेद झंडा लहरा रहा था और वहाँ से कह रहा था Happy Christmas Tommy, Happy Christmas. And we had got over the surprise, some of us shouted back, Same to you, Fritz, same to you. And then when they realized that this is, Arey wow, what a surprise, somebody's wishing us Happy Christmas. They wished same to you. I thought that would be that. We all did. But then suddenly, one of them was up there in his great coat, waving a white flag. So now somebody in a grey color coat stood up and said, Don't shoot, lads. Someone shouted, and no one did. There was another Fritz up on the parapet. Parapet means chat pe. And another, keep your heads down. I told the men it's a trick, but it wasn't. So now there's somebody who's saying don't shoot. कोई कह रहा है shoot मत करो, और फिर दूसरा है ऊपर चढ़ गया, वो कहने लगा keep your heads down. One of the Germans was waving a bottle above his head. तो एक जर्मन आदमी वो सर के ऊपर एक बॉटल फिरा रहा था. It is Christmas Day, Tommy. We have snaps, we have sausage, we meet you. Yes? So, snaps and sausages is a famous dish in German. I was going to say France. In German. And you've heard of sausages. I don't want to show you the picture of it. It's a non-vegetarian dish. We meet you, yes. By this time, there were dozens of them walking towards us across no man's land. And now there were a dozen of people walking towards them from God knows where. And not a rifle between them. And there was no gun or nothing. What if they would do something to us? Little Private Morris was the first up. Come on, boys. What are we waiting for? So now what do you think this gang of men have come? What do you think? What comes to your mind? Have they come for something, or they've come to fight with you or shoot you? Are they some terrorist, or what are they? I should have stopped them there and then, I suppose. But the truth is that it never even occurred to me I should. Now, after they've come close to you, this whole dozen of people, you realize that you should stop them right there. But then you're like, it didn't even click me. It didn't even occur to me. All along their line and ours, I could see men walking slowly towards one another. Grey coats, khaki coats, meeting in the middle. So now you can understand this whole thing. This is happening between the border of two different areas, and in one side of the border are army men in khaki coats, and one side are army men in grey coats. So the grey coat army men have come to meet the khaki coat men. But they thought they're coming to fight. But they don't even have a rifle. So now what are they trying to do? Finally, they are in the middle. Khaki coats meeting the grey coats. In the middle of the war, we were making peace. So now, because it was Christmas Eve, the grey coats had come to make peace with the khaki coats. You cannot imagine, dearest Connie, my feelings as I looked into the eyes of the Fritz officer who approached me, hand outstretched. Hans Wolf. So this one of the grey coat men, he stretched out his hand to shake hands. He said, gripping my hand warmly and holding it, I am from Dusseldorf. I play the cello in the orchestra. Happy Christmas. So what do you think? What are they trying to do? So two army leaders are trying to make friendship. They are trying to make peace. Let's see. We'll mark the difficult words later. Captain Jim Macpherson, I replied. And a happy Christmas to you too. I'm a school teacher from Dorset in the west of England. So this man was from Dusseldorf. This man was from Dusseldorf and he plays the cello in the orchestra. Cello is a musical instrument. Okay. And his name was Hans Wolf. And the other man on this side, the khaki side, his name was Captain Jim Macpherson. And wishing you a happy Christmas too. And who was he? A school teacher from the Dorset. School teacher. So probably he was a school teacher in his initial days and then he decided to sacrifice his life for the army. Ah, Dorset, he smiled. I know this place. I know it very well. We shared my rum ration and his excellent sausage. So now men, they have a habit, German men, they drink some rum and sausage, a non-vegetarian dish. They were eating it. And we talked. Connie, how we talked. He spoke almost perfect English, but it turned out that he had never set foot in Dorset, never been to England. So he's telling to Connie, Captain Macpherson is telling Connie that Hans Wolf was talking such good English. He had learned all the New England from school and from reading books in English. So how has he learned English? From school. So all of you know why you should pay attention to English online class and even English classes otherwise. Because reading books and English from school is important. His favorite writer was Thomas Hardy. His favorite book, Far from the Madding Crowd. So out there in no man's land, we talked of Bathsheba and Gabriel Oak and Sergeant Troy and Dorset. These are the different places and things they were talking about. He had a wife and a son. So now they have their families also. Army men, they have their families also. They leave their families at home and come and fight for us, for our safety. Born just 6 months ago. So the baby was so small. He had a small son, baby son, who was 6 months old. And I looked about me. There were hurdles of khaki and grey everywhere. And suddenly when they were looking, there were huddles of khaki and grey everywhere. And what were they doing? Smoking, laughing, talking, drinking, eating. Hans Wolf and I shared what was left of your wonderful Christmas cake. So they were eating Christmas cake. He thought the marzipan was the best he had ever tasted. Marzipan is a sweet layer on the cake. It's a sweet dish. We agreed about everything and he was my enemy. There never was a Christmas party like it. So have you ever imagined a Christmas party at a border between two parties who are armies who are against each other, but they are trying to make friendship? Then someone I don't know brought out a football. So now we wanted to play football. Greycoats were dumped into piles to make goal posts, and the next thing we knew, it was Tommy against Fritz out in the middle of no man's land. Hans Wolf and I looked on and cheered, clapping our hands, stamping our feet to keep out the cold as much as anything. There was a moment when I noticed our breaths mingling in the air between us. So he's seeing a kind of unity happening. Suddenly everybody's like, oh, let's play football. And then all the grey coats removed the grey coats and made it a goal post. And you know how they make arrangements to play a game. And then he saw that even he and the person who he was talking to, Hans Wolf, they were laughing together, they were breathing in the same air. He saw it too and smiled. Jim McPherson, he said after a while, I think this is how we should resolve this war. So in this chapter they're talking about this method, the peaceful method of resolving war. Let's play football and resolve it. A football match. No one dies in a football match. No children are orphaned. No wives become widows. So what happens in a war? Men die, their wives become widow, the children become orphaned, so much damage to so many different people. So they are saying this is how we should solve a war, we should solve a problem by playing football. I'd prefer cricket, I told him. Then we Tommies could be sure of winning, probably. We laughed at that. Together we watched the game. So he said, no, but I would like to play cricket. And then he said, that's how we would win, maybe, it's just a joke he's saying. He's not saying, but the main idea we understood in this chapter by now is that there was a war happening, but they had a different way to solve the war. They had a different way. Nowadays people use non-violent means of communication. They like to use peaceful methods. Everybody wants a peaceful life. Who wants to fight and scream and get burnt and get hurt and all of that? So we will continue the chapter later.